Hi guys, good evening. Dr. Jenny here, physical therapist and doctor of physical therapies, creator and founder of Balance and Fall Support Group in Aging Adults, and also the president of Physiogen PT and Wellness and the current vice chair of Global Health in Active Aging with Academy of Physical Therapists Association, special interest group. I'm here right now in USA, and our special guest for tonight is none other than Amanda Sobey, and she is in Canada. So we are global, guys. So we are always doing a highlights every Mondays, but we always have a Thanks God It's Thursday podcast featured in our Balance and Fall support group. So the Thanks God It's Thursday, we always highlight innovators, physical therapists, entrepreneurs, and always some motivational speakers, influencers, and academicians who are really motivators and inspiration to everybody. They're giving tips, educational experiences, and challenges. So tonight we have Amanda Sobey. She is a motivational speaker, lifestyle coach, and she is a personal trainer of Amanda Sobey Incorporation. And she is also a nutritionist. And as I've said, she's a personal trainer with different and multiple students. So she already experienced and shared all her experiences with couple and a lot more. She just finished a 1 month year long for the lymphedema month. So if you imagine, we only have 2 days for Lymphedema Summit, and she's one of our speaker, and she's able to fit in her busy schedule. So thank you so much, Amanda. And now we will get to know her more. So welcome to Balance and Fall Support Group podcast, Amanda Sobey. Welcome,
Hi, how
welcome.
are you? Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. We are so grateful we have you tonight. So tell us more about yourself. What did I miss, Amanda? So I told them you're from Canada, and I believe that is in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So tell us more. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, no, thank you for getting to know me. I guess what would you like to know? So you kind of covered what I do. I'm a certified personal trainer. I'm a certified nutritionist. I'm a lifestyle coach, but also a lymphedema and lipedema coach for anybody who wants to kind of really narrow down what I specialize in. I do actually have lymphedema myself, and that's what has got me on this journey and where you see me today. My background started at a very young age, being very athletic. So I was a competitive figure skater for 12 years. So a lot of my background and a lot of the things that I enjoyed to do kind of I grew up with. It's all that I knew. All I knew is how to be an athlete until when I was 21, I was afflicted with lymphedema, and that completely changed my life. It completely changed the outlook, especially when I found out that there was no cure. So I kind of went through a lot of series of events where I gave up hope. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have resources. I didn't have education or information on what to do. And through my journey and trials and tribulations, you see me today being what I'm doing. I love being a bodybuilder for fun. And I've evolved into what you see. And again, part of the journey was learning how to overcome this condition, but not only learning for myself, but also being able to teach others of what to do if they're afflicted with this condition.
Yes, yes. I really truly believe that lymphedema is really depressing. I have many clients that I met. They're not able to get out of their home because they are already on that stage for that really heavy, we still have lymphedema clients that are still mobile, but still definitely not everybody knows what is lymphedema. So in a simple term, what is lymphedema to anybody who's not familiar with is lymphedema and listening to us, Amanda, can you share what is the lymphedema and so easy for them to understand? Thank you.
Definitely. So lymphedema can be primary or secondary. Primary is whether you're born with it, it's congenital, it's hereditary, it's passed along through your genetics. And so that's kind of the first way that you can get lymphedema. It predominantly shows in females more than males, but that doesn't mean that it can't appear in males as well too. And then there's also secondary lymphedema where it's caused by trauma, whether it be cancer, surgery, a parasite known as filariasis. some sort of an external factor that causes a disruption in the lymphatics. For those of you who are listening out there, thank you for joining in. But what your lymphatic system is responsible for, it helps remove all the waste that your cells make. And if you don't have a functioning lymphatic system that can remove this debris, you can experience swelling anywhere in your body, whether that be legs, arms, head, neck, genitals, or abdomen. And it's very unfortunate because the lymphatics aren't necessarily taught in university to our medical students. This condition very much goes often unrecognized, where doctors don't know how to diagnose it properly. It's very commonly misdiagnosed as obesity. So people who are sitting at home, who are bedridden, you may not be obese. You may have a condition known as lymphedema. And I hope that that little bit of a description has helped guide you along your way to educate you to know that there is a condition. It's not you, it's not because of you, but again, it is a medical condition that does require medical attention. And there is a lot you can do if you know the right things to do.
Definitely. That's really simple, but really complete definition of the lymphedema. Very easy to remember, right? So, but as you've said, not everybody, even the doctors, are not familiar and how to correctly diagnose it. So sometimes it's late. So how about your story a little bit, Amanda? So how did you know that you're having a lymphedema and what caused your lymphedema? I think 2012, is it, or correct? Or
It's
2013?
2001. We're
Oh,
going way back.
2001.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're going, we're
oh,
going,
that's a lot.
yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
we're
It's
going
been a
way
long
back.
time.
So yeah, it was. So for my situation, I guess let's just start with the story. I've had two
Mm-hmm.
situations that I feel caused the condition. The first situation, I was bit in my leg from a mosquito bite. I used to live in Vancouver, Canada. So if anybody knows the west coast of Canada, I used to live over there. And on the seawall, they would have this path that you could rollerblade or run or bicycle on. And every day I would go on my rollerblades and I would skate around the wall. And I had a really weird mosquito bite on my leg. And it looked very different from any of the mosquito bites that I've experienced because I grew up in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And if you know anything about Winnipeg, Manitoba, the joke here is that we have mosquitoes the size of helicopters. These things are huge. they don't die. So I'm very familiar with mosquito bites. And so when I got bit by mosquito bite in 2001, I just thought, geez, that's very peculiar, but didn't think anything more of it. A week later, I was caught in a very sad physical altercation where I was assaulted at random. And so I was physically attacked, which is, again, that's the trauma. Again, I was assaulted. And so between those two situations, we don't know what really had caused my lymphedema. All I knew is that after the assault had taken place, I couldn't walk. I thought I had sprained my ankle. So I took a tensor bandage and I wrapped it around my ankle, thinking it was just a sprained ankle, and it was just a minor injury. The moment that I took off the tensor bandage, my foot swelled before my eyes, and then it was my foot to my calf, and then I started to freak out. So I called up my doctor, and when he had saw me, he observed me, he referred me right away to a vascular specialist, which is the most common way to be diagnosed. And that vascular specialist, we did a lymphoscintigraphy test, and he noticed that my lymphatic system was compromised and that I have an incurable condition known as lymphedema. He gave me a prescription for some compression stockings, told me that I would need a treatment called manual lymph drainage, and that there was really nothing else that I could do. That was it. He walked out of the room. I was devastated to find out that I had an incurable condition. I tried to Google search, back in 2001, the internet wasn't very good back then. So there really wasn't any information. The only pictures that we had seen, or the information that I found, were pictures of elephantitis, people exhibiting stage 4 lymphedema. So I was very shocked, very devastated, very depressed, because here I thought, I was a 20-year-old girl, beautiful long legs from figure skating all the time, right? Thinking, oh my goodness, now I'm going to be deformed with this big, huge, abnormal leg. And there was nothing that I could do. And that was the start of my journey. And I made various attempts to try to take back my health. I tried almost everything and anything. And again, there was such little information about this condition. Again, doctors weren't being educated. even though I was diagnosed, there wasn't support for me to get the information. So my leg grew to about a stage 3, stage 4 at my very, very worst period of life. And that was back in 2016.
Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry to hear that, and thank you so much for sharing your story. I didn't know that that's how it exactly happens. So you have multiple issues, like one is like close to primary, and then like the other one is secondary from the trauma, something like that. It's just mixed. And I agree, we'll never know until it's really bigger. And then when you track, we have some cases that they have cancer and surgery, but you will see the effect of the lymphedema after 5 or 10 years, so
Mhm,
later on. So it varies with different people, but I am grateful for all the people I've met like you, because education, and also
mhm,
now we keep educating people. This exists. This is the term for that. This is not only fatty deposits, which is like lipedema. And we don't even know that lipedema exists. Lymphedema, we're learning what is lymphedema. Now there's a lipedema. So thank you for people like you, and how you come up with the idea of I need to help people, and how can you help, knowing that you yourself is a lymphedema warrior.
Well, the biggest thing that I learned through my journey was it didn't matter if I was a primary Lymphie or a secondary Lymphie. All that really mattered was what am I going to do because of it? And the words no cure completely devastated me. I thought, well, there's no cure. I might as well give up. Right. And then, of course, I had my epiphany. Well, it wasn't really an epiphany, it was a forced situation in 2016 where I either got up and I did something because of it, or I succumbed to the illness. And I'm a full time single mom. I had 2 very small kids at home. Um, there was no option for me to quit, thankfully. Right. And so then I took my years of education, I took my years of research, because again, I've been all self taught. Again, a lot of things that I've learned have been based on my personal experience. And again, I figured if I was given this condition, maybe there was a reason why I was given to it. Because in the back of my head, I always felt that there was a solution. I always knew that there was something that you could do if we were just taught what to do, we could just do it. So that's
Mhm.
how I developed into what you see today. And it was by trial and error. And once I had put my theories and my education and my resources to test, again, I used myself as a guinea pig based on nutrition, based on fitness, based on compression therapy, manual lymph drainage, skin conditioning, and taking care of your skin. I put everything that I knew and I made a course, and I followed this religiously. And my steps that I created for myself are exactly what I teach and train my clients to date. But those steps, they got me up on stage in 2017 for a bodybuilding competition, which I won. The judges didn't even know that I had lymphedema. Nobody else knew that there was something wrong with my leg. The only time that somebody thought something was wrong with my leg was because I would wear my bandages before I went on stage, and then I would bandage when I came off stage, and people were curious as to know like what was going on. But today, now this is what I devote my life towards. I like to teach people that just because there's no cure doesn't mean that there's nothing that you can do. And I believe that this is true for any age category. For my clients that are bedridden, I teach them how to take back their life. I teach them how to reduce the size. I teach them that food makes a difference, and just learning these tools of what contribute to the swelling, we learn to decrease the size, decrease the mass, and then hopefully get you back for a quality of life that you want to live.
Amazing. Imagine all your experiences, combination with your knowledge and experiences, made this wonderful course, and you really want to share because you yourself and you are the product of it. And congratulations on that. Maybe people will really not aware that you yourself has lymphedema at the time. That's amazing. And how can you just give us a simple like couple of exercise in the lymphedema summit? I really enjoyed that part. You teach us the manual lymph drainage. So for people who are not familiar, we have lymphedema steps that we usually do, and that's very complete decongestive therapy. Like you do your skincare as what Amanda said, that skincare, manual lymph drainage. So we need to inform you that it is not a massage, and not it's different than a massage. It's more superficial. Can you show us a little bit of that? I like when you begin there, a little bit of that, a circular motion, just a couple, so we will know that these are part of your course that you're going to include once we have some listeners who are being challenged with lymphedema. Go ahead, Amanda.
Definitely. And manual lymph drainage, my biggest tip that I'd like to tell my clients from being a patient myself is that every therapist has a trick. And certain therapists work really well for some patients, and certain therapists work well for other patients. It really depends on the stage of your condition. It also depends on where the obstruction is. So if we think of the lymphatic system specifically, if let's say you're a breast cancer survivor and you have your lymph nodes removed under the armpit, we're starting to recognize that there still are pathways existing under there if the nodes are removed, but finding a therapist that complements your type of lymphedema is going to be your best resource to see challenges. But really, really quickly, let's do some clavicle clearing. Take your fingers and just right in the hollow of your neck, you can press and release, and press and release. And again, it's kind of like there's two little hollows just right above the collarbone. And this is where some lymph nodes are, and we're just draining out that space to allow for new fluid to flush through. I like to do things in a count of 4. So once I've done that 4 times, I will take the fingertips of my hands, I will run them up the jawline and then down the back of my neck. I run them up and down the back of my neck. Now, I'm not doing this aggressively, but I'm not doing this super soft. I'm kind of finding a balance of just the right touch. And again, this is very important when you're doing MLD. When you get into the axillary region, right underneath the armpit, I like to pump and drain first. So again, you squish and release, and squish and release. So like I said, if you have breast cancer and your nodes have been removed, you can still effectively do MLD, okay? Again, making sure that you always want to consult with your therapist as well too. It's switching over. And again, like I said, MLD, manual lymph drainage, we've been taught that it's a light surface touch, but we're also finding out that it can be a subcutaneous touch. So it really depends on the type of edema that you have, how much swelling or fluid is there, and that should determine the texture or the pressure of the manual lymph drainage technique.
That's really cool. Thank you so much. I really enjoy that. So it's very important, nutrition, and she's a nutritionist. Whatever you eat really affects you, especially salt. It attracts more fluid. So we need to balance the fruits and everything, especially vegetables, lean meat, just a balance of that. And the more you know what will make it worse, the better, right? So that's why whatever you eat affects you. Even you don't have lymphedema, that's what they said. You are what you eat, right? So
You
those
really
are
are.
amazing. Yes, and can you tell us more? You have a very nice Lymphie Queen. You tell me a story about that. So what is Lymphie Queen? I know lymphedema warrior, but how about a Lymphie Queen?
Well, I'm very privileged and very proud of my students or my clients. I don't know, my patients. I don't know, my people. So I've had the privilege of dealing and training many beautiful people all around the world. And I dedicate my Lymphie Queen page to these survivors, to these warriors. And so anybody who trains with me gets a t-shirt. And again, it's to hopefully share their stories, to teach people that it's their journeys. And I have women and men that I do train, and they come from various walks of life. Again, these are cancer survivors. These are people who have been born with lymphedema, people who have gone 30, 40 years without being diagnosed properly and still come and train with me. And so these t-shirts, or Lymphie Queen, is to share their stories, to let people know that they're not alone. I think a lot of people will look at me and think that they can't do what I do. But then there's so many people that I've had the privilege of getting to know, and I just watch them transform. I watch their lymphedema get better. I watch their health improve. And so Lymphie Queen is to share the success of all of my clients.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. They're so lucky to have you, knowing that you're really a lifestyle coach, motivational speaker. So thank you so much, Amanda. So tell us more. How can we connect with you? I'm sure we have lots of people here listening from the Balance and Fall Support Group. They are questioning sometimes people around them that has one leg bigger than the other, one arm bigger than the other. So that's lymphedema, most probably, guys. So tell us, how can we connect with you, Amanda, so they can learn more about it?
You can find me on social media under Facebook or Instagram at am.sobey. My last name is spelled S as in Sam, O, B as in Bob, E, Y. I'm pretty sure it hopefully pops up on the screen there. I'm sure of it. And then also you can check me out on my website at amandasobey.com. I'm getting better at doing YouTube. So again, there are videos up there. You can check out my YouTube page. And again, I will be posting my entire month-long celebration from March up onto YouTube. So that is to be rolled out sooner than later. But again, anybody who has a question, they can book a free 15-minute consultation with me through my website. You can also message me on my social media forums. So again, I'm here for you guys. And again, like and follow me. I share tips. I have free resources to download to talk about compression, to talk about food, to talk about exercise. So hopefully these are good resource materials for you guys just to get some more information and just know that I'm ready and waiting for you whenever you want to start your journey.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Amanda. You are amazing. I am so grateful I connected with you and all your clients, your students, your people. We don't know, right? They are people we help, and they honestly help us too, you know. It's win-win situation because we learn from them, and at the back of our mind we always think, they always think that we only help them, but their experiences, their stories has an impact to us, so it gives us more motivation to help other people. So thank you so much for giving your time, precious time. Definitely we will share and connect with you. So guys, if you have any question, connect with Amanda Sobey. I think, Amanda, you didn't say about your IG, and that's where I always see you. So your Instagram, she's available in Instagram. Really wonderful videos teaching some exercises and a little bit more on her blogs and things like that. So thank you so much. She's a great, beautiful influencer here. So thank you for this opportunity. So guys, thank you for listening, and we will connect with you again. So connect with us with Balance and Fall Support Group and Fishigen PT and Wellness, and definitely with Lymphie Queen, Amanda Sobey. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Amanda. Bye for
Thank you
now.
so much. Bye.
Bye.